Before I jump into the topic, I just want to let you know that I'm now offering a free phone call with me. I get people that ask me questions on social media related to health and fitness and nutrition, but in order for me to provide the right solution for you, I need to know a little bit more about you. So if you want to book your free phone call with me, all you got to go is to the description below and you'll find a link that will take you directly to my calendar where you can book your call, or you can go straight to my Instagram profile page and you will find the link in my bio. What's up, you guys, and thank you for tuning in today. I want to talk about a very important topic, actually, a very important, one of the most important nerves in our body, and it's called the vagus nerve. Okay, now this video applies to anyone. I mean, anyone who really wants to have optimal health. If you're someone who's dealing with anxiety, if you feel like, you know what, I get frustrated easily, I'm very stressed out, maybe you have inflammatory conditions or bloating issues, whatever it is, this nerve has a lot to do with activating the system in our body that allows us to feel calm, heal, digest, and rest. And the last video that I recorded, I talked all about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. I'm not going to go too much into detail of the two different nervous systems, but I really want to talk about the vagus nerve because the vagus nerve is actually what governs the parasympathetic nervous system. It's like the on and off switch button. Basically, those two different nervous systems that I just explained, just to kind of give it to you very, briefly, that there's one system that allows us to prepare for anything that could be life-threatening, okay? And then the other system allows our body to be calm, rest, digest, heal from anything that our body is dealing with. Now, they both cannot work at the same time. And the vagus nerve is kind of that on and off switch button that tells our body, all right, the threat is gone. Our body can now calm down and start the healing process. So it's very important that we have the balance of those two. We need those two. But majority of the time, we're in a very dominant, stressed state without even realizing it. And I'm talking about there are so many different stressors that a lot of people aren't aware of. Chemical stressors, emotional stressors, physical stressors, and even to the tiniest situations like standing in line and feeling frustrated because, the grocery store is busy and you want to hurry up and get out of there and you hate standing there in line. And to you, that could be very stressful. It seems so little, but the body still responds the same way. And I really want to dive a little bit deeper into the science behind it and then kind of focus on every area, with your mind, physically, the connection between the brain and the body and what we can do in order to stimulate this vagus nerve, to nourish our body, to support the nervous system, to eliminate anything that could be detrimental to our health. I just feel like if you have a better understanding and just have a more open mind to learning about how the body works scientifically, I feel like it will really drive you to incorporate lifestyle routines and to really make changes. You could be intuitively doing certain things that make you feel better, drive you to feel more motivated or feel more fresh or relaxed, but you don't know the science behind it. And that's what I want to share with you. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but I feel like when you have this information, it will make you more open to actually apply certain things that maybe you've seen other people do and talk about, but you just felt like, what's the point of really doing it? That's not really what I'm into. But when you understand how you can really, truly benefit out of it, and it can really change your life, then you're like, you know what? Now that I understand the science behind it and how it's really affecting my mind, my spirituality, and the physical activities that are happening within inside of my body. And maybe that's why I feel frustrated all the time. And when I'm in an argument, I don't have the ability to calm down, and my temper, drives very fast, or, just when I eat, I don't really feel well, or maybe I'm just not really connected with my body or having a positive relationship with myself, with others. There are so many things that this vagus nerve does to our body, because what this vagus nerve does is what connects our body to our brain, to our mind. It connects our heart, our brain to our body. So it manages and processes all of the emotional feelings that we get, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper and explain, exactly what this vagus nerve is. So the vagus nerve is a cranial nerve, and cranial nerves mean that they're nerves that emerge from our brain, all right? And this is the longest cranial nerve, and vagus means in Latin wandering, because that's basically what it does. It emerges from our brain and it stems all the way down to our body, and it innervates with all of the different organs in our body. And the reason it does that, because it's what connects our body to our brain. It's kind of like the highway for communication. So it has this bi-directional communication pathway. And the real interesting thing about what this nerve does is that it not only connects with all the different organs, but 80% of the messages, of the signals, of the sensory neurons that are sent to the brain is going up to the brain. So 80% of that has an immediate direct effect on the brain, and only 20% of those sensory neurons and motor neurons are going down to our body. So anything that is happening to our organs, or anything that we put inside of our body, directly affects the way we feel, the way we think, the way we move, and the way that we function. And just for you to have an understanding of the different ways of the communication in the body, we call one afferent and one efferent. And afferent means messages that are being sent out, okay? And that's the afferent. That's the messages that are, the sensory neurons that are coming from our body to our brain is afferent. And efferent are messages that are coming back in. So there's any health issue within our organs, any digestive issues. That's why sometimes you could eat something and you get bloated and you don't feel well and it affects your mood. It's because of this brain and gut axis is what they call it. I don't know if you already heard about the second brain in our gut, and that's basically what it is because of the effect that it has on our brain directly. So where is this vagus nerve connected within our bodies? All right, it starts from the bottom in our pelvic area where our anus is at, and it's connected to our reproductive organs. Then it goes up towards our gut, and it's connected to the liver, to the kidneys, to the gallbladder. It's connected to our small intestine, our large intestine. It goes up towards our heart. It's connected to our heart. Then it's connected all around our neck and our mouth, and it's connected to our nose, and it's connected to different areas in our brain where we have cognitive function and emotional and leadership skills. So you can see if this nerve is not stimulated correctly, or if there's something that's compromising the function of this nerve, what we call vagal tone. If it doesn't have proper vagal tone, how all of these different areas in our body could be affected. And you know what I really found interesting, what Buddhists and yogis have been doing for such a long time, that now we're starting to realize the science behind it. If you are into yoga or meditation, I just recently started getting into it because I started realizing the connection, but I wasn't drawn too much in the beginning because I'm more of a scientific person, and I was like, okay, I need to understand the science behind things in order to, trust it, kind of, you know what I mean? So I started realizing, actually, if you're into yoga or if you're into Buddhism and how they believe in the 7 chakras in the body, how they're aligned with the spine, and there are these different circular vortex energies that could be blocked, okay? And it goes all the way up to the center part of our brain where our pineal gland is at. And the pineal gland has to do with, our sleeping, our waking up, but a lot to do with our emotional behavior as well. And they believe that these energies, these different parts in the body that go all the way up the spine could be blocked. And it has so many similarities to the vagus nerve. And I want to actually do a whole video about it when I go into detail on what they believe in. And then when we go to the science behind it, it's actually the vagus nerve, if we think about it, and how all those vital 7 organs are connected, and how it stems from the brain. And when we have these unblocked energies, and when all of these areas in our body are healthy, it allows us to reach this higher consciousness, this higher awareness. And when we are in the most healthiest state, it what allows us to be more focused, to be more alert, to be more in touch with our body, with spirituality, with what's happening around us, with our emotions, our thoughts, our behaviors, and to have like this wider awareness of reality that we cannot really sense and we're not connected to. And when everything is healthy, we have this more awareness. And that's why a lot of people can feel like they have brain fog and they cannot focus and their memory is not up to par, or they feel kind of depressed and frustrated and not healthy and not connected on a positive level. And I want to dive deeper into that into another video and kind of do these comparisons with it. But I just kind of want you to realize of first where the vagus nerve is connected to. And now I'm going to get into all the different ways on how our health could be compromised if the vagus nerve is not functioning healthy. So now that you know where this vagus nerve innervates in our body, let's dive a little deeper and see how the different parts in our body could be affected if this vagal tone isn't functioning properly. All right, like I mentioned earlier, it's in our pelvic area, our lower abdomen, and then it goes up to our reproductive organs. So if there's no proper functioning in this vagal tone, then immediately our reproductive organs could be compromised, especially in women with fertility and the ability to have an orgasm. And then it goes directly up to our gut and impacts all of the different organs in our body. It helps our liver regulate insulin secretion and glucose homeostasis. It's what allows our body to have the ability to absorb vitamin B12, and that is crucial for our nervous system. It impacts the secretion of gastric juices within our digestive system, bile production, so our body could digest healthy fats and eliminate waste. Then the nerve goes up to our lungs, it's connected to our heart, so it has an impact on our breathing, on blood pressure, on heart arrhythmia. So if there's no proper functioning of this nerve, this is how it can impact our health. And I just want to raise awareness on, people that might be taking medication because maybe they're having heart arrhythmia or they have shallow breathing, when it could just be coming from this nerve, because the nervous system is really what controls and coordinates everything in our body. And it's the most important thing to pay attention to and to make sure that we're doing everything to stimulate it, to nourish it, and to eliminate anything that could compromise its health. So really, like if you're someone who's dealing with any of these kind of issues, to really take this serious and to incorporate things that I'm going to share with you that will allow your body to really heal naturally. So as this nerve goes up to the neck, it's connected to our mouth. So it's connected to the way, we breathe, the way we taste food. It's connected to our nose, and it's connected to our brain, especially parts in our brain where our emotions are, where our ability to learn new things, to have leadership skills. So you see how serious this is. That's why I want to talk about this. And I find that I really want to share this information with you because it can affect everything in our body. So before we run off to a doctor and try to think of a surgery or medication that we take, let's try to find ways where we can have optimal health naturally, with our food, with eliminating certain things, incorporating certain exercises, being able to be aware of what we are doing. A lot of the times we are doing things unconsciously without even realizing it. It's so easy to say, but not a lot of people are aware of what they're doing. Not a lot of people are aware of how they're handling situations, on their perception on life and situations that they're dealing with on a daily basis. And that's really what I want to dive into after, is the mindset and the physical things that we can do, the lifestyle routines and rituals that you can incorporate, trying to figure out the root cause of whatever it is that you're dealing with. That's what I'm going to dive into after. But right now, I just wanted to raise some awareness so you can see how important this vagus nerve is on our body. So in the next video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the different stressors that could be happening in your life, in your external environment and your internal environment. I'm going to share with you all of the different chemical stressors, emotional and mental stressors, and physical stressors, so that you could be aware of what's really happening in your life. If you're a person that's living in a more dominant stress state, or are you someone that's living in a more dominant relaxed state? So I want to share with you so that you're aware of all of the things that could be compromising your health. I'm going to share with you ways to nourish your body with nutrition, nourish your body that will support the nervous system and the vagus nerve. And I'm also going to be sharing with you exercises and different routines that you can incorporate immediately that will help stimulate that vagus nerve, so that you can really be more aware, and whatever that you're dealing with, you'll be able to determine the root cause. All right, so stay tuned for the next video, and I hope that you found this video to be helpful. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer in the next video, please leave a comment below. Have a beautiful day, you guys, and I will see you in the next video.